All right, folks, welcome to Ninoscorner.tv. I'm joined with Jim Willie once again. We've missed you, Jim, for a while. You've been away. I haven't had you on in a while, man. I'm glad you reached out. Let's knock this out of the park today. I mean, look what's happening.
I know.
These are crazy times we're living in, Jim.
You're telling me. I'm telling you. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life. Go ahead.
But you've called it. You predicted it for a while. You people like Juan.
Well, yeah,
I've
been predicting the dollar woes and just an exponentially growing U.S. government debt and a global rejection of the dollar and a blow up of the silver market to rip a big wide new a-hole in the banks. So there's a lot going on, but it's been a long wait, Nino. It's been a long wait.
So I'm gonna let you riff and let you take it from here. I'm gonna give you the floor, but first, folks, get your 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃, baby, 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃. You know what no one warns you about with chronic pain, which I suffer from? It doesn't hurt your body. It steals your sleep, your mood. It doesn't just hurt your body. It steals your sleep, your mood, your patience, your life. And Big Pharma solution, another pill, another refill, another dependency. But here's the truth they don't want you to know. Your body already has its own painkillers. They're called endorphins, and they're designed to shut pain down naturally, folks. It affects how you sleep, how you move, how patient you are, even how much energy you have for the people you love. For years, the default solution has been pain pills, and while they can mask the symptoms, they don't help your body do what it's actually designed to do: manage pain naturally. In fact, they can wreak havoc on your body, things like stomach bleeding and even organ failure, or more extreme cases. And a lot of people get dependent on fentanyl and other drugs because of this. We're conditioned to think this is all normal, part of life, but something people don't know or realize is this: your body already produces its own pain relief chemicals called endorphins. They're meant to calm pain signals and help you feel real relief. But over time, stress, inflammation, and aging can make it harder for your body to activate them. That's why I like 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃, and I take it every day. Instead of numbing the pain, it supports your body's ability to turn those natural endorphins back on. The same pathway many pain medications try to replicate, but without the side effects of risk or dependency, folks. After 14 years of research, more than 2 million bottles have been made and shipped across the U.S., and people are reporting better sleep, easier movement, and a real sense of relief naturally. That's a key here. It's trusted by professional athletes and backed by science. Right now, you can try 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃 risk-free for 90 days for less than $1 a day. Hit the link down below, folks. 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃.com, 𝗀𝗃𝗃𝗃.com/Nino. Get on it and get started living a pain-free life, which I am. All right, Jim. So we are now living. I'm going to pull this up. Silver's at 108, I think. This is banana, dude. This is we've been told and warned that this time is coming, and now it's off the rails. I'm hearing it's just going to keep skyrocketing.
Fibonacci is in the room. Okay, I said that when we were battling.
108, there it is.
Okay, I was saying Fibonacci's in the room a couple months ago when it was just above 50. And, Fibonacci, as it applies for the silver market, I would say is 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, 130. And, I had some people make fun of me, Nino, and I don't really mind that because that's what idiots do.
Yeah, you're right. They make fun of the smart people. They call them crazy.
Right. And, if we're not careful, it's going to be illegal to be intelligent because the norm is going to be imbecilic. But I said, we had a long battle at 30. It took 2 years or more. And we had a little battle at 50. It took about 4 weeks. And then I said, we're going to jump to 80 and it's going to be a breeze. And, I didn't get too much criticism. I had more questions like, what do you mean Fibonacci's in the room? 10, 20, 30, 50, 80, 130. And when people noticed that 80 was a bit of an obstacle, but not much because it was during Christmas and it wasn't much. I said, we're not going to really stop at 100. 100 is not going to be very meaningful. It's got 2 zeros on it, but who cares? It's going to be 130. And I'm learning more about 130. It's going to be perhaps a little bit of an obstacle with
But is it
respect to
gonna go-
solar
is it-
panel.
Is it going to go further? I've heard this is going to go blow past 300 even.
Oh, I think it's going to seek an equilibrium around 400 or more. We haven't really opened up the silver mines. Okay, I want to explain something that's really fascinating. 10 or 12 years ago, we had the silver price at around, I think it was around 25, 22, 18, 19, 20, 22. Okay, so now we have a much higher price, but we got 10% less silver mine output last year. We doubled in the silver price and we went down 10% in output. It's called inelastic supply. Okay, for a normal market, let's just imagine that copper has a very, very large potential still. Well, if you raise the price by double, you're going to really increase sharply the supply. Not for silver. So what does it mean, Nino? The world is running out of silver. The globe is running out of silver.
Now, I've been told there's a sweet spot of it about 260 to a little bit over 300 to bring mining back to the United States. Is there any truth to that?
I don't think it needs to be that high. I mean, I think more important than a high price, well, it's equally important, is stability. Okay, let's get to 110, 120, 130, 140. It's gonna have a little bit of a fence, an obstacle at 130 because it's a Fibonacci number. And I love this stuff. I just love that. I've got an entire chapter in my math book on Fibonacci, and it has the square root of 5 in it, by the way, which I'm sure you're very interested in. Okay, we're going to see some obstacles. I'm making fun of you. That's okay.
I didn't even get it. So yeah, okay.
Fibonacci sequence has the square root of 5 in it. All right, it's 1 plus the square root of 5 all over 2. Let's not worry about it. It's a golden ratio. It's about 6.682. Anyway, that's how much they grow. 60% more each time, or the inverse of that. Okay, so we're going to see some obstacles at 130 with respect to the solar panel economics business model. We're going to hear in the next month or two, all kinds of solar panel makers are going to raise their prices because they're going to say we can't make money at 130. Okay, some people say, oh, then we'll never get over 130. And I say, you got rocks in your head? No, they'll raise prices. Have you ever heard of a company raising prices in response to input costs? Yeah, baby. Okay. Let's not get caught up with price because I really, I got to mention something. It's really important. It was the summer of 2020. I had a contact named Maxwell. I called him Maxwell of Luxembourg. And he said the Euro Central Bank is doing a luncheon every 2 weeks. And they're inviting all kinds of Swiss and German and French and Italian folk, but mainly Swiss and Germans, to discuss and make beefs about fraud and mistreatment in the gold and silver market. And it was every 2 weeks, and it was hosted by the Euro Central Bank. The European Central Bank actually did it. And they said, no names. You can do your bitching on stage, but no names. Okay, so they couldn't mention JP Morgan, and they couldn't mention, UBS, and they couldn't mention Barclays, all the corrupt ones. Okay, they couldn't mention that. So after about 4 weeks, they did a poll. Put your little slip of paper in the bottle, and they had about 100, 120 people put it, and they averaged it. What is the equilibrium fair price that you expect in the future in order to bring about a balance of supply and demand? And it was 400 silver, 10,000 gold. That's where I think we're heading.
Damn.
And when we get there, we're going to reevaluate. Because back then, we really didn't have a big solar industry, and we really didn't have a big electric vehicle industry. All right, so that's very interesting. But let me just kind of change lanes within the silver highway and mention that there are 8 big banks that need to cover about 30 billion ounces of
5,124 for gold today. Damn.
Yeah. Oh, it just went up. Nino, did you see that? It just went up.
Just clicked up, yeah. Damn,
Okay.
man, this is, I mean, it just broke 5,000 the other day, didn't it?
Nino, something really important. The big banks who've been shorting silver, and I think naked, uncovered, naked, no collateral. I mean, doing a year of mining output volume in a 4-hour morning session. Okay. HSBC gave it away. They said, in a sense, we had a board meeting and we have to exit our silver positions because we're in danger of losing insurance coverage. The banks are in danger of dying for the silver market losses because the insurance companies are now telling them you get out of this silver short position or you're on your own and you can absorb
and that's going to be
$18 billion loss.
And that'll be a catastrophe.
They got to cover it. They're going to cover it in the next week or 2 or 3.
How do they cover
there's
it?
not much long on by making a buy order and pushing it to 170. Bubba, this is coming.
How do you get over 200? A rock and a hard place with that because silver just keeps going up.
They're going to be pushing it up. They're going to be a main agent for pushing it up. In addition to that, you've got other
and they
people
have no choice in this, right? So it's like their own demise.
No, they have no choice, and their insurance companies told them you get out of this or you're on your own with insurance. I think the insurance companies are going to bail out, even though they honor the wishes of the insurance company. Nino,
so what's going to happen? Are the banks just going to collapse, Jim?
Some are. I have my candidate, like Bank of America.
Can you tell me what banks you feel are going to go under? I've heard Bank of America.
Bank of America, I think they're toast. They might have other problems.
JP Morgan
related to. No, let me just focus on Bank of America because they have more than one problem. They at one time about a year ago they had the most short position ounces for silver. They had the most. But they also have other exposure, Nino. They have other exposure, Nino.
I got
you know what I'm trying to say. Okay. Yeah. Okay. They're the Bush Narco Bank. Okay. Anyway, they've got a double-barreled shotgun pointing at their loins. Okay. Which is worse, getting shot in the neck or shot in the loins?
Neck.
Probably the neck. Okay.
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah.
Let me get to some details here. There are 4 big banks in the United States and there are 4 big banks in Europe, and they're all having to get rid of their silver short position. Their boards have said, exit this immediately. Exit this. You got 2 weeks to exit this. I mean, I got it in my January newsletter, but there are a lot of details, and I don't mind giving away who they are. They're Citibank, Bank of America. See if I can remember them all. Citibank, Bank of America.
They're being forced to exit the silver.
Yeah, Goldman Sachs.
And this in return will cause the insurance companies to
cover their losses.
Which then the banks fold.
No, you cover the losses, you don't fold. Okay, if the bank, okay, I don't know what the coverage is by the insurance companies. I think it's inadequate coverage because if you combine arrogance with business risk management, you probably insure for 1/3 of what your loss is going to be because you don't imagine that it could ever get over $100. Okay, in Europe, you got UBS, you got Deutsche Bank, and you got Barclays, and you got the king. You got the king, HSBC. They're all being ordered to cover and get rid of their silver short positions. They have to cover. And I think what's going to happen is a couple of the banks are going to say, we're going to wait for it to come back down, and it doesn't come back down. We're gonna pull some tricks. We're gonna order increased margin requirements. And you know what, Nino? This is really fascinating. When they institute a margin requirement increase, it forces some selling in New York, and it goes right back up in 2 hours in Shanghai. Nino, it has no effect. It didn't past years. It has no effect. We're now using a parlance saying increasing the margin requirements will just give a discount that morning to Shanghai. It's not bringing it down. And why is that? Shanghai has the metal. Okay, there's a very interesting concept that I'm going to describe here. When you have New York and London, they work together and they do futures contract price discovery. Okay, it's a really wrong name, not pseudonym. It's a wrong name for determining the price, but it's using corruption with naked shorts and futures contracts. And so the paper price discovery, that was the rule for all these years, 30, 40 years, since 1975 with Volcker and all that. Okay, paper price discovery. But now it's changed because the BRICS have been pouring into Shanghai and Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. And what they do is they say, we don't like the New York activity. We want our own activity. We want to run it in a more honest manner. And Shanghai is the main center for price determination. And Dubai has a lot of activity honoring the price in Shanghai. Well, something happened in the last 2 weeks. It's called exchange for physical. What the big boys were doing, they were buying it low in New York. And since there's no metal in New York, they took it to Shanghai, exchange for physical in Shanghai. And 2 weeks ago, Shanghai said, screw you, we're not doing that no more. So now it's no longer paper price discovery with futures. It's Shanghai physical price discovery. And if there's no supply at 95, they move it to 105.
Jeez. It's a death spiral. It's a death spiral.
I regard it an upward spiral. It's death. It's death to big banks who committed corruption and fraud. But
it's like all of them. Everybody has their money in these banks, man. What's going to happen to people's money?
Oh, the Fed will.
They're going to know. They're going to want to know. The
Fed will put a big patch on it. The Fed has already put patches on it. Right after Christmas, early in January, the Fed announced that they did a $17 billion patch to cover a hole in a New York bank, and they wouldn't tell us which. And I believe it was Bank of America. And then a few hours later, they put a $34 billion patch on another bank and said there were failures, but they're remedying the situation. They've already had bank failures. And the Fed says, no, we can't allow that. We're going to put over $50 billion to patch 2 banks and keep them going. Well, guess what? They're probably in a few weeks going to announce it wasn't $50 billion. It was $87 billion for 3 different banks.
Oh, okay. God. This is bad.
This is very bad. But I don't believe if you got your money in a big bank, I don't believe you're going to lose it. I don't think they're going to do bail.
What happens to your money? I mean, the banks crash. What happens to the person? What happens to everyone who has money in the bank right now? What happens to them? That's what they're going to be asking in the comments.
It becomes a bank subsidiary that they sell off, and it's called the checking and savings portion of the bank. And it's viable because there's money there. And it won't be viable if they bail in and steal it. I think they're going to separate the bank accounts and the checking accounts and keep it separate. And they call it immune to speculative losses, like in the futures contract arena. Okay, I wouldn't really worry about that. There's nothing you can do about it, but I think most of those accounts are going to be honored. There might be some. You may have an isolated bank or 2 or 4. We don't know. We're not in control of that. I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about war. I'm worried about covering us up by having a war, like a civil war. Can you see an indication?
Yeah. I mean, I've heard this is going to keep escalating all the way through spring, summer, and the fallback. There's 14 fallback cities. I mean, this is going to rage out of control. And I'm telling you, my guests have not been wrong, and you're one of the ones that are not wrong. You're always ahead of the ball. So yeah, what do you see coming into spring and summer? That's going to be really, people are going to be really raging as more ice raids go forward, and people are going to be going ballistic. I mean, they already are, and it's cold as hell outside, and they're already out there. So imagine spring and summer. And Obama is rallying the left now. Obama and Bill Clinton putting out official statements saying find inspiration from the protesters. This is going to kick into high gear.
Well, it's interesting the words that Obama and Clinton use. If those are the original Obama and Clinton, which is a very big question unto itself. Okay, what I think is going to happen, Nino, is we're going to see the Insurrection Act invoked with respect to two states to start, Illinois and Minnesota. And later it'll be California, but they're saving California so that is my opinion, they're saving California until the public understands, acknowledges, and accepts that we've got insurrection in Minnesota and Illinois. And the public is not there yet. They're getting there.
So we need to let this get more out of control, right, Jim? In order for Trump to he can't just do it now. He's got to wait till this gets a little bit more out of.
And California is different because I think they're waiting for the public perception in California to be more in the majority that Newsom has stolen maybe $20 to $50 billion.
Sure.
Okay, if you just add up,
they're fighting for their lives, man. Everyone right now is fighting for their lives. I
know. If you just add up in California, the masks, which was $500 million, the fire, restoration of homes from the Palisades, I believe that was $2 or $3 billion. I'm not certain of the number. The homeless was $5 billion, and the railway I think was $3 billion or more. Add them all up, and you got like $15 billion. I think it's all stolen.
I bet you it's more than that.
Oh, I know it's more than that.
No,
you haven't even gotten to the USAID fraud. You haven't even gotten to the immigrant, support.
Right.
Like in Minnesota, the daycare centers, the elderly centers, the learning centers for English, they're all fraud. Oh, I love that learning center, LERNING. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Learning without the A. Yeah. Okay. I got to say something, and I get some criticism, but I don't give a shit. The Somalis are one of the tribes.
Hold on. You can't say that on YouTube. We could say that on the back channel, but it's your opinion. It's your opinion.
Okay. All right. My opinion is we're dealing with.
I know. Trust me.
Immigrants.
I'm trying to stay.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, my belief is that these people who have limited cranial function are getting a lot of help from good old American citizens, and they're going to get indicted, like I think Mayor Frey of Minneapolis and some woman, I think her name is Freeland or something close to that. She's been involved with the fraud. Okay, they're going to be some American citizens who fall, and they're going to. Oh my gosh, I'd like to see the entire Minneapolis Somali crowd removed.
Let's go back to Ninoscorner.tv and finish it up there. What do you say? I want you to go ham. No holds barred.
Whatever you want to do. I'm game.
I mean, we covered it. Banks are looking to exit out of silver. We covered what this topic is. This is good for my audience here. Let's go to Ninoscorner.tv and talk about the rest of it. You good? Let's roll. All right, folks. We'll see you at Ninoscorner.tv because I want to take the leash off, and I'm going to take the leash off of Jim Willie and let him go ham. Here we go.